Holy moly. Hannah, you should try some of this.
Hey,
Oh.
wow. That's so good.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Shay, and we're Dinner National.
Today we are cooking German food.
German food is known for bread, meat, and potatoes. But that doesn't mean it lacks variety. There are over 300 kinds of bread and over 1,000 different sausages native to Germany. German food is unpretentious, meat-forward, and subtly spiced with mustard, allspice, juniper berries, and caraway seeds. Today, we decided to stick with the classics. We're making Schweinebraten, a delightful roasted pork shoulder with crispy skin, Rotkohl, a traditional braised red cabbage to balance the richness of the meat. We're adding a tangy Kartoffelsalat, potato salad, and the simplest pasta we've ever made from scratch, Spaetzle. Okay, let's get started.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Rotkohl. So Rotkohl is, like I said earlier, one of the more popular dishes in Germany. Everyone knows about it, everyone's talking about it. It is really delicious. It's made with cabbage and Granny Smith apples. It's very, very tart, and it's quite the nice addition to any pork dish. I have half a cup of butter that has been sizzling in this pot, and I'm going to put in 1 yellow onion, which I've diced up pretty finely. So we're gonna cook this for 10 to 15 minutes until the onions are browned, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. So our onions are brown, guys. They look great, they smell buttery, I'm loving it. So we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. 1 Granny Smith apple that I've cubed up, pour that in there. This is half a cup of water mixed with chicken bouillon. You can use chicken broth, you can use vegetable stock, you can use whatever you want. Just some flavorful liquid. We have 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. You might need to add more at the end. We'll discuss that later. These are caraway seeds. This is half a teaspoon. This is 1 bay leaf and 2 cloves, 3 cloves. This is 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. This is gonna thicken things up a little bit. This is half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar. We're gonna stir it. Oh my gosh, this smells so great. Really tangy. So our apples and stuff are boiling. We're going to add half a red cabbage that's been shredded in our mandolin. Ooh, I don't want to make a mess, but I'm going to stir this into the rest of these ingredients, bring it to a boil, and then turn the heat down to a simmer and cook it for 2 to 3 hours until it's really soft. You might need to add a little bit more liquid in here too. Make sure that there's enough for the cabbage to absorb. So with a dish like Rotkohl and the potato salad we'll be making later, it's good to make it actually the day before. So that's what we're doing, to have it, let it have some time to sit in all of its flavors and get nice and soft. Okay, let me tell you about the German potato salad. So there's many types of German potato salads. There's many types of potato salads, and there's many types of German potato salads. But this one is the Swabian variety, so it's from South Germany. There's no dairy involved. It's a really nice, simple way to make a potato salad. I had no idea about it, but yeah, it's quite enjoyable. I think you'll really like it. Okay, so off camera, I boiled about 5 white potatoes and cut them into 1/2-inch cubes. And what we're gonna do is set this aside to let it cool. And I'm gonna boil some ingredients. This is not how Americans make potato salad. This is gonna be a little bit different. So I'm gonna boil 1.5 cups of beef stock. You can also use bouillon cubes and water. This is 1 medium yellow onion. And this is about 2 tablespoons of fresh dill. You don't have to use this. Some recipes don't have it, but we had fresh dill, so we thought that might be nice. This is 2 teaspoons of mustard. This is French mustard. It's the whole seeds, but we're gonna use this because we have it. Of course, use German mustard if you do have it. Okay, this is 1/2 cup of white vinegar. Make sure to use the strong stuff. This is 1 full teaspoon of salt. These are potatoes, so they need the salt. And last, this is 1 teaspoon of white pepper. If you don't have this, that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this to a boil. And then I'm going to turn it off and dump it over my potato mixture, and then just have this sit for about, or at least an hour. And then you can keep it in the fridge. I'm going to eat this tomorrow, so I'm gonna add green onions when I'm ready to serve it. This took no time at all. This is already boiling. It's only been about 5 minutes. So I'm going to pour this hot, oniony, brothy mixture over our potatoes. I'm going to cover it, and we're gonna let it sit for a whole hour before I mix in some oil and we put it in the fridge. Oh yeah. So my understanding is that the onions are not going to be super soft. You know, I didn't boil this for very long, only 5 minutes. It's going to continue to cook in this bowl with the rest of the potatoes. All right, our potato salad has been resting for 1 hour, soaking in these nice oniony juices. We're gonna give it a mix, give it a taste, because you might need to add some stuff. Oh yeah. It's looking really nice, and I'm just gonna give it a taste. Oh, wow. I don't even think it needs any salt. I really thought it might. This is too good. I'm gonna need more. Dude, it's actually really good. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil, not too much, maybe a tablespoon or so, and keep this in the fridge overnight. Okay, so our cabbage is looking exactly how I've seen it before. I've had this a couple times. It smells great, it looks great. Now we just have to taste it, because you never know, right? Dang, that is so good. I think it needs a little more vinegar. Like I said, you can add a little more at the end. So this is probably a 1/4 cup, if that. Stir that in there. I'm also going to add just a small pinch of salt. This didn't need much. So this is supposed to be intensely flavorful, and it really is. It's like sauerkraut with a kick. I don't know. Ooh, I really like it. I'm so excited to eat this tomorrow with the pork and the Spaetzle.
Roasted pork is really popular all over Germany, and why wouldn't it be? It's delicious. So I was really intrigued by this particular dish called Schweinebraten, which is like a pork knuckle, but we couldn't really find any pork knuckles, so we just decided to stick with a normal pork shoulder. So this is like a really simple dish of roasted pork and vegetables cooked in a really nice broth. So yeah, I'm super excited to try. We've been cooking food from Africa and the Middle East for the last 10 weeks. Not a lot of pork there. And pork is actually one of my favorite meats. So I'm super excited to make some Schweinebraten. I know I'm not saying it right. I tried. So what we have over here is a skin-on, bone-in pork shoulder. So you can choose to have it skin off. I mean, if that's what you get. But then honestly, I mean, the crispy skin is like one of the best things about this dish. So what I have over here is like a 2.2 pound big boy. It's skin on, bone is still in. Sorry about the meat footage. I know some people don't really love that, but I've got my oven going at 350 and there's a roasting pan in there already. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna rub some mustard. We don't have any German mustard, so this is just whole French mustard. I have some black pepper, that is freshly ground of course, some paprika, and some salt. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just gonna rub some on here. You know, kind of the best way to do it is with your hands, like kind of massage it in. If you're a little bit squeamish, you could just use like a brush or something like that. Okay, so my meat has been coated in these lovely tasty things. So I'm just gonna let this sit for like about 5-10 minutes, which would be the perfect amount of time to heat up some butter in a roasting pan. See you in a bit. Okay, so my butter is starting to melt. So I'm gonna sear my pork on all the sides except the skin side. And I forgot to tell you, my oven is at 350 and I've got a roasting pan in there.
That's a satisfying sizzle. This is such a beautiful smell. I mean, you have to be here to believe it. I mean, roasting pork in butter. So I'm just gonna give it like about 2 to 3 minutes per side. We're not trying to like cook it out because this is gonna cook in the oven for like a fairly long time. So I'm just gonna give it like a little bit of heat, a little bit of sear, a little bit of butter. So the pork is in a roasting pan. Oven is at 350. This is gonna go in for 45 minutes. Alrighty, so while you were not watching, I peeled about 3 carrots and cut them into sticks. And I have also cut 1.5 onions into like 6, how do you say that? Like 6 parts. So I've got this pan going on like a medium heat. I'm gonna melt a block of butter, like about 2 tablespoons. So it's been about 45 minutes that my meat has been going. The alarm rang, I turned it off. So my butter's melting. I'll put the onions in first. I just want to leave this in relatively large pieces because, you know, they're gonna cook for a while. I'm just gonna give these a quick saute for about 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna pull the meat out and put this thing in. So these sauteed vegetables are gonna go in this roasting pan. I'm gonna put these guys in there now. So this is like a fairly traditional, you know, pairing from what I understand, like onions and carrots. If you don't want to stay traditional, I mean, I guess you can always do some root vegetables. They're pretty good. But you know, for this, we decided to stay pretty close to how the German people eat. If we made any mistakes, do let us know. I mean, that's kind of becoming our thing now. So I've got like these caraway seeds, about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit in the liquid, and I'm also gonna sprinkle a little bit on our beautiful pork roast. So I'm gonna put this guy back in here. Super nice. I love this roasting pan. I don't really get a chance to use it that much because, you know, how frequently would you roast for a family of 2, right? And also sprinkle like a little bit on the top. Alright, so this is gonna go back in the oven for 1.5 hours at the same temperature, 350. Let's make some Spaetzle. This is a very Spaetzle dish. I'm sorry. So, this is kind of like a rustic pasta that you kind of make at home. I had it for the first time in a German restaurant a long time ago, and this was delicious. So, yeah. I hope my version would be equally good. So, I'm gonna beat 2 eggs first, because they're very bad eggs. Alright, so this is like 1/4 cup of milk, and I'm gonna beat this even more. Yeah, we just want this to be like a slightly runny consistency. Start boiling your water, you guys. That's like about 1 gallon of water that's boiling on the back burner. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of nutmeg in there. So nutmeg always freshly grated. I do this on camera because I know you guys will probably avoid doing that. But it's totally worth it, you guys. So I don't want a lot of nutmeg in there, just like a little bit. And then you just need a little bit of white pepper. I'm not gonna measure that either. It's just like that much, just about 1 pinch, and a decent pinch of salt. Okay, so I'll give this a nice mix and slowly add the flour in and start mixing. This might be a nice time to switch to a whisk. Okay, so this is like 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm just gonna add like a little bit in there because we don't want any clumping. So I'll just kind of like keep whisking. Add some more flour in there, keep whisking. Alright, so it looks like my pot is starting to simmer quite heavily. This is a perfect time to address one thing. We don't have like a Spaetzle? I can never figure out how to say it right. I'm so sorry, guys. Spaetzle maker. So I'm just gonna use a colander here. You can also use like a slotted spoon from what I understand. But basically the idea is to, you know, make like little noodly things. So this should be like a nice pourable consistency. So what I'm gonna do over here is I'm just gonna pour some on here. And it's not supposed to fall down. As you can see, this is like the right consistency. And then you basically start to push it a little bit. These are actually a little bit smaller than I'd like. So because my colander had like really small holes, I decided to switch to this slotted spoon instead. And this slotted spoon has bigger holes. Now it's time to add some extra flavor. This step is completely optional, but I highly recommend you do it. So what I have here is 2 strips of bacon that I've cut up like into really small pieces. So I'm just gonna saute this real quick, and once this is sauteed, I'm just gonna quickly toss this Spaetzle, which is completely cooked in this thing, and just take it out. Remember to do this just a couple minutes before you're ready to eat, because this is the final step. Do you see that it was sitting like a big blob in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's something really special about pork, isn't there? As you can see, my bacon is starting to brown a little bit, and now it's time to add the Spaetzle. I'll just give everything a little toss, saute for like about 1 or 2 minutes, garnish with parsley, and we're ready to eat. As you can see, you guys, it's been 90 minutes and I've pulled this meat out of the oven, and oh my god, it has defied all my expectations. This looks beautiful, and I'm already tempted, and the temperature is at about 151. Okay, so 145 is good. Mine is at 151. This is pretty cooked. Looks nice and golden on the top. Look at that. It's kind of crispy, isn't it? And the crisping's not even actually happened. My broiler is on. I'm just gonna put this in the broiler and give it just about 5 minutes. Be very careful at this stage because you don't want this thing to start burning. Watch it like a hawk.
We've been craving German food for a long time, and we haven't gone to a restaurant to get it, so this is really our first time in a long time eating it. It's so satisfying. I have to say, I'm loving everything we made.
I'm really excited to try some pork. I've been sneaking some bites, and holy moly, is it delicious.
Yeah. That crispy, crackling.
Yep. It's very good.
You hear that?
It is very crispy, isn't it? Potato salad is delicious too.
Yeah, it's so good. I added some green onions right before we served it. So nice.
More than just the color, you know. I mean, it's that oniony flavor that's like really delicious. I'm gonna try some pork with the applesauce. The pork is so tender, guys. It's very nice. It's very juicy. And the red cabbages, any which way, is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I always love eating this with pork.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Nice and tart. Kind of sweet.
What's your favorite dish today?
I think the pork or the German potato salad.
Yeah, it's the potato salad for me, honestly. I mean, I love the pork, but the potato salad is like something really amazing. Alright guys, we're gonna finish eating this. Make these. This is really easy, really tasty. Make it at home. See you next week.